Have you ever stopped to think about how it's possible to love someone and at the same time know that you need to leave? I'm not talking about that movie kind of love, the kind that makes you ignore warning signs. I'm talking about real love, deep love, the kind that coexists with an uncomfortable truth. This person doesn't value you. And the worst part? You know it. You've always known it, but you stay. There's something strange that happens in some relationships. We wake up next to someone who, consistently, does not make us a priority, doesn't treat us well, doesn't recognize our value, and the question no one wants to ask is, why do we stay? The answer isn't because we are weak or because we're afraid of being alone. Many times it's much more complicated than that. It's possible that we stay because we still love them, and that's exactly where the paradox we're exploring today lies. When you're in love, there is real chemistry happening in your body. Dopamine circulating, oxytocin bonding you to that person, serotonin creating that feeling of well-being. And when that person doesn't value us, when they treat us in a way we know isn't right, something very specific happens internally. We start investing even more. Does that sound contradictory? It is. But emotionally, it makes perfect sense. The unconscious logic works like this. If someone we love isn't valuing us, maybe the problem is us. Maybe we're not doing enough. Maybe if we do more, if we become better, if we understand that person more deeply, then we'll finally receive what we need. So we double down, we dedicate ourselves more, we reshape ourselves more, and the more we do, the less that person needs to do. The less they need to value us because we're already there, investing, waiting, believing that next time it will be different. It's possible that this starts very early in life. Many people grow up in environments where love was conditional, where you had to earn attention, had to deserve affection, had to be good enough to receive approval. So when you find a relationship that replicates that pattern, when you meet someone who only values you when you're striving, when you're trying to be better, it feels familiar, it feels like home. And then we become trapped in that cycle we know so well. The worst part is that there are moments when that person treats you well. There are days when they give you attention, when they make you feel special, when you think that finally they've understood. And those moments are so intense, so full of relief, that they reinforce everything. We think, see, I knew it. It was just a matter of time. And we stay a little longer, another month, another year, maybe another decade. But there's something we ignore throughout this whole process. Being in love doesn't mean that person is good for us. Being in love is an emotional state. It's real, it's valid, but it isn't truth. The truth is behavioral. It's how that person treats you when they're not trying to impress you. It's how they deal with your feelings when those feelings inconvenience them. It's whether they respect your boundaries. It's whether they choose you or merely tolerate you. Now, the question many people don't ask is, why is it so hard to leave? And the answer isn't simple. There's the issue of attachment, of course. There's the body's chemistry, the habit, the routine you built together with that person. But there's something deeper. There's the question of identity. When you invest so much in a relationship, when you shape your life, your priorities, your way of being around another person, leaving that situation also means dying a little. It means questioning who you are outside of that context. It's possible that you've built a narrative about yourself based on that relationship. I'm someone who loves deeply. I'm someone who is loyal. I'm someone who doesn't give up. And if you leave, if you admit that it doesn't work, you have to reformulate who you are. You have to look in the mirror and say, I'm someone who deserves better. And that's frightening, because it means you have to believe in yourself before anyone else does. There's also the question of hope. Hope is a powerful thing. Maybe it's the most powerful thing there is. We can live in a bad relationship because we believe it can improve, that the person can change, that you can change the situation. In reality, we believe in the potential of what it could become. And as long as there is hope, there is a reason to stay. Hope paralyzes you in a way. It's not a heavy chain. It's more like an invisible thread that you choose not to cut. And there is also fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of never finding someone like that again. Fear of having wasted time. Fear that if you leave, that person will find someone better and finally be happy, but this time with someone else. There's something deeply human about thinking that you don't deserve to be happy, but that at least that person does. It's as if you were saying, I'm not enough to deserve happiness, but maybe I'm enough to guarantee theirs. But perhaps the most important thing is this. Many times we stay because there is still a part of us that believes that if we sacrifice enough, if we love enough, we can fix it. And that belief is so powerful that we ignore all the evidence to the contrary. We see signs that it doesn't work and think, I just haven't tried hard enough yet. We experience disrespect and think, maybe I overreacted. We feel lonely inside the relationship and think, I'll stay a little longer. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Leaving a relationship where you still love the person, where you still feel that connection, is an act of emotional maturity that has nothing to do with feelings. In fact, it's the opposite. Emotional maturity isn't about stopping your feelings. It's not about turning into stone. It's not about waking up one day and realizing you no longer love them. It's about being able to feel all of it, that love, that attachment, that fear, and still doing what needs to be done. It's possible that you'll miss that person for months, maybe years. It's possible that you'll hear a song and feel that tightness in your chest. It's possible that you'll see someone who looks like them on the street and for a second you'll return to that place. All of that is valid. All of that is part of leaving someone you loved. It's not a failure on your part. It's not a sign that you should have stayed. It's simply part of the process of being human. But leaving also means recognizing something very important. I believe you can't truly love someone in a healthy relationship if you're sacrificing your own emotional health. You can't be good for someone if you're becoming worse for yourself. And there's something many people don't understand. Leaving someone who doesn't value you is not rejection. It's not you being insufficient. It's you finally saying that you are enough, that you deserve more, that you deserve to be with someone who chooses you, not someone who tolerates you, not someone who loves you when they have time, not someone who values you only when you're being useful, but someone who chooses you fully. I believe emotional maturity here is the ability to separate two things, what you feel and what you do. You can feel love and still choose to leave. You can be in love and still recognize that it isn't healthy. You can want to stay and still have the courage to go, because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing what needs to be done even when you are afraid. Maybe the real question isn't, how do I leave someone who doesn't value me even though I'm still in love? Maybe the question is, who do I need to become in order to do that? Because the truth is, there isn't a formula. There isn't a specific day when you wake up and stop loving someone. It doesn't work like that. What changes is your relationship with that love. You learn to love in a way that doesn't destroy you. You learn that loving someone doesn't mean staying in a relationship with them. And there's something else that might be important to consider. What if the reason it's so hard to leave isn't weakness? What if it's actually a strength being used in the wrong place? That ability to love deeply, to dedicate yourself, to believe things can get better. That's not a flaw. It's a gift. But gifts can be wasted on the wrong people. So the question remains, can you imagine using all that capacity to love, all that dedication, all that belief in improvement, but this time with someone who truly chooses you? Or, even more importantly, with yourself? Because in the end, we only manage to leave when we understand that staying costs more than going. And maybe the greatest cost isn't the pain of leaving. Maybe it's the person you stop becoming while you continue to stay. Think about it.